Welcome, Tzvi here. We all want to feel safe and good about ourselves and what we're doing. But the problem is past trauma kicks in and those things become scary, and then we want to control it in an uncontrolled way. We'll talk more about that. Really what's happened is the evil inclination is playing games with us, playing games in our mind, playing games with our visualization, playing games with our emotions. But we have choices. This is what we're going to talk about. Different ways of what shows up as an evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara, and ways to create it in a mindful way, Jewish mindfulness way, to solve it. The first thing is I want to give examples. One way I've seen many times is you feel like this bill is too big for you to pay. It may not have mattered that you paid it 90% of the time, but because it felt like a struggle, comes up the same thing. I got this bill. What am I going to do? Where's the money going to come from? Where's it going to come? What do I have to do to pay this? What do I got to do this? And really what's happening is it's out of control emotions trying to control it. What I mean by out of control is if we realize that 90% of the time or 100% of the time it's always paid, but the situation's come up now, it's turned it around because of a past emotional traumas that it's learned this way. Okay, it's going to be safe if I get worked up because that's a habit that I've learned. You become addicted to it without even realizing it. So what the thing is, it's all in reverse. And it gets hooking you and you think it's real. Okay, I've got to, in my head, I've got to work this out, I've got to work this out to come and have a solution. But the more and more goes on, the more it feels more painful, the more you get sick, more the body hurts. God forbid of all this. But we have to learn. First thing is first, is to be aware, be mindful. Whoa, those thoughts are going on again. Then we have to work out what tools we have to change it. This is the most beautiful part. We've learnt it and we can relearn it in a new way. Once again, we never ever fight it. We're dealing with the Yetzer Hara. He's trying to convert you back to the old way. Let him go, let him go. It's like there's noise you hear in the background. Just let it go. Time to refocus on what you do want. This is what it's all about. Knowing that we can hook into the Creator, God, Hashem Himself. That the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, is not there to harm us, it's to help us grow. If we kept doing it every time, emotionally and spiritually, that's what it's there for, to help us. So it's a blessing in disguise. And the blessing is once we get to it, it's like, this big weight comes off, like you feel relieved. Almost like you walk around like your head's lightheaded. It's like, wow, I was hooked into it for days, weeks, months, years, whatever it is. Now I don't have to carry around that excess baggage anymore. I can now finally release it go. It may come up. Fine. Another task. Thank you. I know what to do. Create a system and go through it. The key to it is how the negativity keeps you locked up, keeps you the unknown very, very scary because it's training you. The negativity is like it's hooking into the old habits. It's feeding it. And the more you get hooked into it, the bigger the feast is. And the more it keeps going on. And before knowing, it becomes an automatic trigger and you think it's automatic and without even knowing, it becomes part of you. So this is a part you have to be aware of. That becoming part of you was learnt in a negative way to a situation that was feeling out of control, and the only way you could adapt to it was this way, like a survival mode. But that was back then in a survival mode. But now you have the choices to change that from a survival mode to more of being accepting the unknown. Okay, I'm going to hook into something far greater than my negative Yetzer Hara, evil inclination. I'm going to hook into the Creator. The Creator is the one that gives us everything. Why don't I use that? It's far greater than any law that we have down here. He's got the power to do everything. He created the world. If He created the world, He can certainly help us out. This is the thing we're talking about here, is that when the unknown becomes scary, we create this little box and everything becomes very limiting. And the more you get hooked into it, the more it becomes more and more limited and it gets more and more shut down. So you end up having these huge blinkers on, you can't see anything. But you feel like you can try to control it. You're so worked up, the body's locked up and trying to control it. But you're trying to think in your head, you're finding solutions. But we don't need to find the solutions, they're already out there. This is a whole part of it, is that when we let go, the solutions will come in. And I tell you, it's the most amazing, joyful things like, whoa, hold on a minute. I got tricked again. Happens to everyone all the time. We're only human, we're put in this world. to work through these things. Whoop, I got hooked in again, but I know that if I do what I need to do, that I can start opening up, and those signals will come in and give me the solutions. They can be straight in front of you before you even realize it, before you're locked up. It's like, wow, I didn't even know it was there, but it's there waiting for you. The test is so beautiful that it's a test that means we have solutions. So as long as there's solutions and we can remember, we have to just work towards seeing those beautiful solutions instead of saying, oh, I'm going to control the outcome. I'm going to make my own solution. We don't need to. We just have to learn to let go. And to add to that strength of the unknown that the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, hooks into, it creates this visualization. It feels so real and so tangible because it's been visualized using an old, superseded, bad, negative way of doing things. The mind locks into it, the body locks into it, the old feelings come back in. It's like an old habit coming over and over again. Unfortunately, the body and mind become very addicted to it. But once again, there's a spiritual part of it that's far greater than this. This was given to us and put inside us. So if we realize that this visualization was created, but visualization is actually such a blessing from the Creator God and Hashem Himself. So if we realize that, that's far greater than the physical creation that we've got. We can actually let go and hook into it. And we can actually reverse it and create new ways through neuroplasticity and let it come in and see that there is solutions. Oh, you don't need to get worked up. I'm going to go to avoidance mode. It's not like I'm going into avoidance mode. The body goes into it, gets sick. And it's also getting sick. It's teaching us something. How amazing is that? I'm going into that. I'm going to feel sick. I'm going to feel bad. No, it's teaching us, there's something in there. Every emotion, every organ, every part of the body has a specific reason it has to go in there. And it's as messages at certain places that relates to certain thoughts and emotions. So when we understand this, it's like, okay, I can work on this. Instead of the unknown being so scary and daunting and awful, we have opportunities to change it and be a better person and actually work further on our journey in our life. It's so beautiful and amazing. So when the body locks up, it's teaching us something. We almost can't breathe. It's like you're holding on to something. Why are you holding on? You're creating it, shutting it down, compartmentalizing it so you can hardly move. This is a thing. The body, the mind's like stuck in it. Okay, we're on an old habit. How are you going to resolve something if you're doing it in an old way that doesn't work? Trying to solve a problem in a negative way, the body solving a problem in a negative way, the answer is we have choices. As it was created that way for survival, we can create it a new way, in a new, pleasant way. So how do we turn it around? First of all, when it becomes unknown, how do I pay the bill? How do I recover my health? We know from the Torah that our body is made to heal. We know when we have the ability to daven, to pray to Hashem, God, the Creator, to bring things in. Now, one of the most important things is to realize that if we do it through a joyful way, we're showing the Creator, God Himself, that we're ready for it. We want to go. But when we get all depressed and negative, you end up taking it all on. And the old habits come in. So we need to free ourselves from all these burdens. So we become mindful and we become present right now, right here. And use that same imagination of the negative things are going to happen, what's going to happen. I can see this. It's a spiritual thing, visualization, so it's safe. We can now come back and be present and start visualizing what we do want. We're sending out positivity. We're sending out what we do want. Now what's happening, we're now removing those barriers that were created and now opening up and allowing the goodness to come in, the abundance out there. Look outside. How did all that get created? It was all given to us, so it's able to be hooked into. And the first key is when that signal comes in, is take time out to see what's really happening. Is this real? It feels very real, but we have choices to make that feeling of real to something new that works for you. That's the most beautiful part, is it's actually like moving forward, relieving ourselves from all that excess baggage. And the part is being open and present to the goodness that's available to us. You think it's hard and difficult, but there's a reason for it. It's to help us be a better person, physically, as a body, and spiritually at the same time. It's there to help us constantly. When we realize the unknown is a blocker, a blessing in disguise, it just relieves all the stress. It's like when you want to go for a drive somewhere new or you want to buy something new. It's exciting because you've learned it that way, you visualize it that way. we can create it in every possible situation we want. I want to thank you so much for staying through to the end. I appreciate it. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll get to as many comments as I can. I appreciate you sending your comments. Thank you very much.